Okay, hi everyone, this is James from Recovery Devon, and this is day 14 of our Recovery Devon Dailies. And as you may have guessed, I'm dressed for a little bit of exercise, some gentle stretching and some core work. And although Recovery Devon said we would concentrate on mental well-being, we can't ignore the fact that our physical well-being is inherently important to our mental well-being. So I'm going to take you through some gentle stretching exercises that I've been doing for a number of years, and actually it's kept me away from the chiropractor for a number of years, so something must be working. I'm dressed as a Liverpool fan, a slightly overweight, out of shape Liverpool fan, and I'm going to make it a bit more interesting by likening each of the movements I do with a Liverpool player. So forgive me if you support another team, and bear in mind any comments about Liverpool not being able to win the Premiership this season will be deleted and replaced with pictures of Mo Salah scoring a goal, which is pretty much any picture of Mo Salah. So please bear that in mind. Anyone who supports another team, that's absolutely fine, but just bear in mind Liverpool are the best. Okay, so when you're doing some exercises, quick disclaimer, if you feel any pain, stop. These are gentle exercises, but depending how much you've done in the past, you may want to take it very gently at first. So any pain, please stop. Also bear in mind that with some of the stretches, you're kind of meant to feel the muscles stretching a little bit. That's part of what's doing you good. So feeling some little stretches in the muscle is good, but obviously any pain, please stop. Now for exercising, generally a lot of people like to have some motivational music. Bear in mind that this exercising is quite gentle, so I'm not going to go for any beating drum and bass or whatever, pumping away, because it's not an aerobic exercise. So I'm just going to go for something that every Liverpool fan will enjoy. In fact, I believe this is top of the charts at the moment, or what are commonly known as the coronavirus charts. So I'm just going to put on a little bit of You'll Never Walk Alone. It always inspires me. So we'll have this in the background, and we'll crack on with a few of the exercises. There we go, You'll Never Walk Alone. Okay, so we're going to start off with just a little quick shakedown. So a little shake, just loosen up, let everything shake. I always think of Adrian with this, Liverpool's reserve goalkeeper, number 2 goalkeeper. He always starts well, but can get a bit shaky at times. So that's your Adrian. We're then going to go into a stretch. So at this point, make sure you're not taking out any light fittings. And at this point, think of Virgil van Dijk, nice and tall, stretching for that corner to put it in the back of the net, or clearing from the defence. So that's your Van Dijk. Stretch and arch your back, arch your back if you can. Then go down towards your feet. At this point, think of Minamino. You've got Eeny Minamino, and you want to be breathing in as you go down. As you can see, I'm not as supple as I could be, and try not to bounce. I generally go forward, middle, back, toes. Okay, so back into a Van Dijk and a stretch, and then breathe in as you go down, and we go Minamino. Forward, middle, back, toes for your Eeny Minamino. Okay, so that's those. We're then going to do some squats. These are good for your quads. And as you're going down into a squat with your arms out, think of Alisson, number 1 goalie, getting ready to go down to save a penalty. So just do some gentle squats. You should feel it pulling across here, across your quads. Hold your hands out because you're thinking with Alisson, safe pair of hands. Okay, so that's that. We're now going to go into a slightly different position. I'm going to just stretch my back out a little bit here. So if you look here, you'll see that I'm stretching out, stretching the back out with my arms out forward. I call this the Mo Salah. Quite small, so think of being small. So this is the Mo Salah, and then you stretch out into a Mane. So that's your Mane there, stretching for the Mo Salah cross. And then you might want to throw in a bit of creativity here. I generally do a couple of half press ups And if you're thinking creativity, you're thinking Firmino. So just take you back again. That's a Salah to a Mane with a Firmino. Okay, now we're going to do a movement that's often called Superman. Now you can take your pick out of any Liverpool player for a Superman, but this is where you opposite leg, opposite arm, and you stretch out. Now I think Superman could easily be Hendo. So you've got Hendo, right, and stretch and try and tense your core. It's good for your core, this. So go Hendo, passes to Milner. So you've got Milner to Hendo. You've got Milner to Hendo. Now I'm not doing the full repeats of these, so repetitions you want to be doing 10 of each. So that's 10 of each of those. Now at this point, I'm going to lie flat on my back, and you see I'm a bit out of breath already. So while I'm on my back, just have a quick breather, and on my back I'm going to think of the player Lovren. He went in for a badly mistimed tackle, injured himself, injured the other player, gave away a penalty, threw the opposition a lifeline. So while you're on your back, think Lovren. Right, at this point we're going to go into some exercises on our back, and we're going to start with this one, which I probably haven't left a lot of room for, but bringing your knees up, you want to go like this. So arms to your right, and then your knees and head to the left. So you'll feel all that pull a little bit, and then over the other side. So remember, it's 10 of these. It's a creative midfield position. So you can either think Lallana or Fabinho. So Fabinho or Lallana for a creative midfield, and this will be helping your lower back and of course your core as well. Okay, so we're still in the midfield. We're now going to go for a kind of hip thrust, I suppose you'd call it. So you just want to raise your bottom off the ground and raise your hips upwards. See if you can tense here, feel the core pulling, and then back down. So up and hold, and then back down. Let's call this a Jorginho Wijnaldum, the hip thrust Wijnaldum. So there you go, that's your Jorginho Wijnaldum. So again, you want to be doing 10 of those for your repetitions, and then we're going to now do some hamstring stretches, which involve, if you just bend your left leg first, and then bring your right leg up as far as you can, and then you might want to take it with your hands and just pull it, not so it's uncomfortable, but just so it's pulling along here, along your hamstring, along this part of your leg and the back of your knee. So pull that towards you. What I like to do is put a twist there, go over to the left, bend and back. So it's up, just hold it as you can, right, left twist, over to the right or left, and then back. And then do the same with the other leg. So we've got on the left here, we've got Robertson. So that's Robertson on the left, putting in a beautiful cross with that left foot. So remember, that's 10 of those. And then on the right, it has to be Trent Alexander-Arnold, doing the same on the right, putting in a perfect cross for a Mo Salah finish. Okay, so that's those. At this point, you probably want to think of bringing on a substitute. So at this point, I'm going to show you something that I got off Amazon at great expense. Haven't really figured out how to use it yet. It's going to be another one of those bits of equipment that I wasted money on, but I found a use for it, and that is if I put it under my knees. Bear in mind, if we're bringing on a substitute, it has to be a Origi, vital substitute. So what you want to do is put it under your knees, and then as you're there, moving up here, just try and force your knees downwards and your heels downwards, so you're tensing the muscles in your legs, around your knees, and also your core as well. You feel it all tensing, and then relax. And keep doing that. Remember 10 of these. Okay. One small point I forgot to mention. One small point I forgot to mention is when you're doing these, keep your toes pointed towards you. It's a small but important point. Small but important, so we'll call it Shakiri. And then there you go. Okay, so that's my little routine. I find doing that routine in the morning or in the evening, or even both, has kept me away from the chiropractor. It's really helpful. You'll want to finish the routine with a bit of a shakedown as well. So remember, that's your Adrian, shaky. And bear in mind that Jurgen Klopp, greatest manager in the world for the best football team in the world, likes to give all his players a good hug at the end. Social distancing means it's quite hard hugging at the moment. So just give yourself a big hug. Give yourself a big hug, a big Jurgen Klopp hug. Remember, this is James from Recovery Devon saying, you'll never walk alone. Thank you very much. Goodbye.